Hello and welcome to 9 Technology TV. This is Gene Fay, Senior Vice President, and today with me we've got our special host, Tom Gelson, CEO of 9 Technology. Tom, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Gene. Pleasure to be here.
Fantastic. You know, Tom, over the last couple of weeks we've been doing a lot of our end-of-the-year planning and thinking about 2011 and what's going to go on, and it got us into kind of an interesting discussion about the next 5 years. And and I think first it's important to think about, as we look back, what was the world like before Mozy, Carbonite, when you were kind of just entering this market and educating people? And I think what do you think were kind of the things from 5 years ago, if you were to look back in history before those players? What were kind of the biggest hurdles that you had to deal with, to kind of convince customers to go to online backup?
Yeah, well, first of all, Gene, I think thinking back in 2006 when we first entered the online backup market, number one was cost. I mean, the cost to run the backend infrastructure and the cost of the bandwidth was the most prohibitive reason why customers were even thinking about it. And also market awareness. I mean, tape was a de facto standard. All the major OEMs and enterprise class companies were focusing on how to improve tape, and online backup was getting touches, but it came down to niche plays. And if you were talking $12, $14 a gigabyte, it just didn't make sense for customers to take their whole backup recovery operation and switch to online backup.
No, absolutely. And it's kind of one of those situations where there's kind of two trends that we always talk about. You've got the consumer play, so you've got Mozy, Carbonite, and Barracuda educating the home player, and then you've got the traditional person that or corporation that was doing online backup, but it was really as a premium service. So now as the price points really go down to such a point that really tape has become the big competitor.
Yeah, and I also think the consumer play has gotten the most attention. I mean, there's companies like Carbonite and Mozy that are doing huge marketing efforts to get the market aware of consumer backup and recovery. But when it came to enterprise class, you had a handful of players charging a premium, and now you're going to see the consumer and enterprise try to get this space. And interesting how it's playing out. There's literally, I think, hundreds of plays right now when it comes to online backup, but which ones are real and which consumer plays can really scale up. I think that's where a lot of the consolidation is going to happen over the next year or so, is who can really play in this market, who has the technology, and who has the partnerships to make a splash. I always tell everybody, online backup is supposedly 2 to 3% of the market share. Gartner and all the other analysts predicting 30, 35%. How's that going to happen?
Right. No, absolutely. And I think it's a big, important point when we talk about the competitors in the marketplace, and there are, depending on how you slice them, probably over 200 competitors. But at the end of the day, we're all competing against tape and showing customers that the value prop is really there. So instead of spending the money on your maintenance renewal for your tape drive, looking at the idea of what's going on in the marketplace from an online backup definitely makes sense. So I guess kind of back to the original point is that we looked a little bit in the past, we talked a little bit about kind of the current market. If you were to look 5 years down the road, what do you see as kind of the big trends or the flying car capabilities that are going to come down the road?
Well, 5 years down the road, I see consolidation. I don't think there's going to be 200 players in this market. I think there's going to be a dozen major OEMs offering online backup recovery, and it's just not going to be one piece here, one piece there, one piece everywhere. It's going to be being able to offer turnkey operation from a single laptop to a major enterprise server, and not just the backup too. My pet peeve is when everybody just talks about the backup. I think where this is going is it's going to be all about the recovery. Gene is big into talking about virtual environments. I think having the infrastructure to instantaneously take a customer's data or business data and recover it to a virtual server environment without any interruption, without any pain points, is going to be where this market's going.
No, absolutely. It's moving fast. There's definitely a lot of interesting things out there. Well, great. Well, Tom, thank you very much for your time today. We appreciate your look at the past and your look into the future as to where this market's going.
My pleasure.
Thank you very much for watching 9 Technology TV.